5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A very warm good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Utkarsh Tandon welcoming you to this pre-match discussion. As you know, the second test between India and England will start from tomorrow at the Chepauk Stadium. And England, the visitors, are all pumped up after the victory in the first test as they vanquished India by 227 runs. So now Indians or the hosts would be eager to come back strong and hard on the field because this test series has much more context to it than just a test series, because everyone knows it's the World Test Championship cycle, the WTC cycle, which is going on, and the final will be held in June this year at the Lord's Cricket Stadium, the god of or the mecca of cricket. So for more of the analysis, we'll be joined by Mr. Monty Panesar. And before that, just a few things. England have announced their 12-man squad, 12-man squad for the second test beginning tomorrow. And the main thing, the highlighting thing is that Jofra Archer, Jimmy Anderson, and Dom Bess have been rested, whereas Josh Butler, everyone already knew that Josh Butler would return home after the first test. So Ben Foakes come in for Josh Butler, and Moeen Ali, Chris Wokes, Oli Stone, and Stuart Broad are included in this 12-man squad, which has been announced by the England cricket team. Also, the fans will be there in this stadium from tomorrow. That means you will see 50% of the fans, 14,000 fans will be watching the game live in this stadium from tomorrow. This is also a big news, a good news. And as far as Ravi Ashwin's injury is concerned, so a huge sigh of relief for Team India, as Ashwin is deemed fit and will play the test match. So because Ashwin was a very, very substantial player as far as Team India is concerned. So this is the news. Also, if we talk about the pitch and the conditions of play, then the match will, as per the reports, the match will be played at the pitch number 5 of the Chepauk Stadium, which is a bit black, bit clayey, and is made up of black soil. So the first test, which was held on a pitch which was conducted on a red soil pitch, we'll not see a red soil pitch in the second test match from tomorrow. The match will be most probably played on a black soil pitch. So we'll know with Paji that what's the main difference between a red soil pitch and a black soil pitch, but the conditions, but it is for sure that the pitch will not deteriorate so quickly as it did in the first test match. And one more news from the Indian cricket camp is that Akshar Patel is fit. So it will be interesting to watch or to see that what are the changes which Indian team will do for the test match tomorrow, because they still have Kuldeep Yadav waiting in the bench, and it will be a decision to, it will be a toss up between Kuldeep and Akshar if it happens. And Shahbaz Nadeem is looks inevitable that Shahbaz Nadeem will not play the match. So it is a bit certain. Now Paji will be joining us. Mr. Monty Panesar, our expert, will be joining us in a few moments. And Monty Panesar was the protagonist of the 2012-13 series, where England won that series in the India's own backyard, and Monty Panesar was the chief architect, as I mentioned. But there, everyone remember that the first test match at Ahmedabad, England lost that test match and then came from behind. But now England have won the first test match, and it's a huge boost for any team visiting India to win the first test of the series, because it's not too easy to be, and it's not too easy to beat India in their home soil. And this is the reason that England have beaten India in the first test. So any team, any overseas team came in India and to beat India, it happened almost after 4 years. Last time it was Australia who did defeat India in Pune, where Steve Smith struck a mind-blowing, a marvelous century, and the result was that Australia won that game. So it will be interesting to see how India comes back, because this has been now inculcated in the DNA of this Indian cricket team, and that is spirit and character. Character is much important thing for this Indian cricket team now, because if you see back in Australia as well, they came back from behind after getting all out on 36, and after that embarrassment in Adelaide, they came back. They won in Melbourne. They displayed some spirit, character, and grit in Sydney to draw the Test match from nowhere, and to break a 32-year-old record. So this team knows how to come back. It's not that any team becomes good or bad in one match, after one match, but this team has the character to show and to display that what it can do. And back in Australia, they were not also the favorites; they were the underdogs with the side they were playing with. The India A team playing with Ajinkya Rahane, Cheteshwar Pujara, and Rohit Sharma show. So this team knows how to come back, but the thing is that the experienced players, they need to come up, they need to hop up and take the responsibility. And so we'll discuss all of this with our expert, and it's going to be a very enthralling session, because tomorrow the match begins tomorrow. England have already named their 12-man squad. The Indian squad is still awaited, and probably they'll announce it tomorrow at the toss at 9 a.m. So and it happens, if we see how the first test match went. So it's a thriller of a series, and this is what we expect when two powerhouses of cricket clash. A kingly affair, to say. Welcome, Paji. How are you?
Yes, very well, thank you. How are the Indian fans after the last test match?
Yeah, definitely. Indian fans are not so happy, and obviously they are hoping that their team comes back, because this is what the Indian team has shown in the past in Australia as well, as they came back from behind. But now talking about from an England perspective, that an overseas team, you also won the series in 2012-13. This is what I was saying, that but then also you lost the first test in Ahmedabad and then came back from behind. But this England team won the first test at Chepauk. So how much boost this is for an overseas team to come here and win the first test of the series?
It's a big boost, because it takes the pressure off them. Pressure's all on India now in the second test match. And it's, look, I think India probably, took England slightly, didn't expect them to be so strong in subcontinent conditions. And I think they did lack one spinner. Nadeem, poor fella, didn't really have a chance to prepare, just last minute call to be in the team. I think they're going to have the team probably be better with Akshay Patel and they're fully fit. Jofra Archer is an unfortunate incident. So there've been a couple of issues with the injury cases. So it could work in India's favour. So I think they bowled with three bowlers. They bowled with three bowlers, and hopefully they can resolve that issue and have a proper bowling attack. And then we may see a more competitive Test match rather than just so one-sided.
Yeah. Also, Paji, as per the reports, it's being said that the match will be played and on the pitch number 5, which is made up of black soil and a bit more clay. So, actually, what is the basic difference between a red soil wicket and a black soil wicket? Is it the carry, bounce, or?
It doesn't. The ball doesn't turn as much. It's much more skiddier. It's a lot more test for the spinners. I remember playing in Calcutta, and there was a much harder wicket to bowl on, and as a spinner, I think you truly get tested a lot more. When the ball sits in the surface and it's like the red soil pitches, the ball's going to turn more. Here, it's going to skid on a bit more. And it will test Moeen Ali and Jack Leach, when the ball isn't probably turning as much. So it's going to be much more of a truer wicket between bat and ball. I think a more of a fairer contest.
Yeah. Paji, after the first test, Virat said in the press conference that they didn't go for Kuldeep. It's because their attack would have been one-dimensional, as Kuldeep also brings the ball back in along with two off spinners, Ashwin and Washington Sundar. So now in the second test match, when Akshar Patel is declared fit, so there'll be a toss-up between Akshar and Kuldeep whom to play for Shahbaz Nadeem. So what's your take on this?
Yeah, look, I think Kuldeep Yadav has been a little bit unlucky. I think he's he's just, I don't know what he's done wrong, really. Does he not fit well? Is he not bowling well? There must be something in training. I think when he's, we don't know the ins and the outs, but I remember when I used to always play for England, how you bowl in training and practice against the better batters, it kind of, sits in your mind. And I don't know how well he's bowling. I think there must be to do with bowling, to do with consistency. So they're probably not risking him at the moment. And it's something that, he has to obviously stay patient. I think it's really important that he's a good squad member. He may not be getting his chances. He may feel like, I'm being left out, but it also tests you as a squad member. What are you like around the team when you're not playing? And then I hope he's able to show positive reports about him with Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli. So they'll remember that. They'll think, actually, there were times where we could have played him, but we didn't, and his behavior was really good. So later on, maybe in the third or the fourth test match where, Ashwin may need a rest, or they may think, actually, we could play with a third spinner, and that could be actually Kuldeep. So, it's this, look, it's so difficult to get into the squad, and he's in the squad, so he's just it's good to see him.
Yeah, because he didn't play in Australia as well. So now talking about the batting in the first test, Indian batting failed. So do you think that it's the experienced campaigners, as they mentioned, as VVS Lakshman also mentioned in a statement recently, that Rahane and Rohit Sharma need to take up the responsibility? So do you also think that it's the experienced pros need to come up and show responsibility, take that responsibility?
I think the pressure's on Rahane. If anything, in this test match, the pressure will be all on Rahane. He only averages 9. He hasn't got a great average against England. And there's even talks where people will be thinking that maybe bring in someone else instead of Rahane, like KL Rahul or Mayank Agarwal, who bat well. And it's not necessarily saying to Rahane that, we don't rate you as a batsman or as a leader. It's just his record isn't great, and maybe they may play him in the second test match. They probably will, but if he doesn't perform that well, it's just a quiet sort of chat to him on the shoulder and think, look, you're still part of our best 11, but I think against England, you're probably not our best 11. If you don't score, as the runs we need him to. So, there's no harm in dropping him and bringing in a batsman who's probably be a bit more fearless, a bit more hungry. And you know, I think Ajinkya Rahane will be quite sort of have a sensible, you know, approach to it.
Also, Paji, England announced their 12-man squad. Butler will. Everyone knew that he'll obviously go home after the first test. But Jofra Archer is out. Anderson is rested. Dom Bess is rested. Ben Foakes, automatic choice for Josh Butler. But then, and Stuart Broad is also an automatic selection. But then Oli Stone, Chris Wokes, and Moeen Ali. So who do you see playing? Do you see any place for Moeen Ali?
Yeah, I think Moeen Ali will play, you know, but depending on what you said about the pitch, there could be that, or could be the possibility of actually not playing him and just play Jack Leach. You know, they may think the wicket's not going to turn, you know, and then the likes of Chris Wokes could play. So it'd be interesting, you know, the Indian team have kind of come up with a different permutation, and we all thought it would be the similar pitch, but they've obviously you know, thought about this, and I don't know if Moeen Ali will play. I think they will look in the morning and have a look at the wicket and see what it's like, and then it'll probably be, do we play the extra seamer all-rounder? You know, it's an all-rounder spot. Do we either play Chris Wokes or do we play Moeen Ali? And I think depending on the pitch and what you said, we'll probably have to look tomorrow morning and see what the pitch conditions are like.
Yeah. Also, Paji, talking about the Indian spinner, or more importantly, Washington Sundar, we saw making him 85 not out, an impressive knock, totally majestic one. But for a spinner, it is more important to get wickets for his team. So, are you satisfied with Washington Sundar giving 85 not out, or will you be more satisfied when he'll get wickets for his team?
See, this is the difficult. This is when cricket fans sit there and you got, you know, as a team, you're sitting there and you're working out who should play and who shouldn't. You're kind of scratching your head and thinking Washington Sundar would be a brilliant number 7, number 8 sort of batsman, you know, like with complementing Ashwin. And if you can bowl just a bit better, he could actually be in the, you know, in bat 6. You know, he could easily do that. But his bowling, you know, it's good, but you know, in Australia, he bowled, yeah, obviously really well, and you know, it's, you know, that's just, some games you're going to have great games, but in general, you can see that he's more of a batter who can bowl, and you know, he just needs to work on his bowling. If he can get his bowling better, make it a bit more threatening, you know, I think something in his action as well, be a bit more aggressive in his action, maybe, you know, get side on a bit more. I think that that would allow him to, you know, to get a bit more, you know, spin on the ball. But it's when he bats like that, it kind of like, it just makes you think, gosh, you know, we want Washington Sundar in the team, but then how do we, you know, complement everyone else? And I think India will probably go in with 2 seamers and 3 spinners because they want Washington Sundar. They got Akshay Patel, he turns the ball away. Got Ashwin, takes a load off Ashwin. So you know, that's probably, you know, I think India are more comfortable playing that way.
Yeah. Also, we saw that how the ball behaved. It was a bit experimentation going on with the SG cricket ball, and the way it was. It also the way the wear and tear happened with the ball. So not everyone was happy with the ball. So what's your thought on the way this SG ball behaved?
Yeah, they just got a bad bunch of balls, really. I remember in 2012 where I had a great SG ball, you know, and it was like a Duke's, you know, beautiful ball. And I think if they get a good bunch, a good bunch of balls, that's something that, you know, I'm sure the SG creator, the SG sort of, you know, the managing director will probably be thinking, actually, you know, for this, I can't afford to have another test match where they complain about the ball, the seam sort of, you know, coming off and stitching coming off after the 60th, 70th over. Like, that's not good enough, you know. These balls they're designed to last at least 90 overs. So it's important that, you know, for SG, the brand, that they do produce some good balls for the second test match.
Yeah, this cannot be an excuse. So also fans will be there watching live in the stadium. 14,000 fans will enter the stadium tomorrow to watch their teams play. So, how much boost will it be for the Indian team, for the home team? Because this is one of the advantages which the home team gets, and how much will the fans be a motivation and inspiration for the team?
Yeah, it'll be huge for the fans and Indian cricket, because I think it'll be a different environment altogether. The Indian fans will probably be a bit louder than they need to be, and also, how do England respond? You know, it's easy to play when there's no fans, but when there's fans, it's I'll give you an example in the Premiership. We've seen Wolves beat Arsenal. Arsenal have lost to Aston Villa, being such a big supporter. First time in 37 years, first time in 40 years, and it's because of the fans. You know, no fans it makes the other team much more relaxed. So I think fans coming back in the second test is going to be test England, because they have played 3 test matches without fans, and I think it would definitely help India.
Last question, Baji. In the context of this World Test Championship, England are now on the top of the table after this drubbing which they gave the fourth spot. So now it is very important for India to not let England win further in the series if they want to qualify or cement their berth in the final spot. And it's opposite for England, that they need to win 2 more tests against India. So how much importance